Now, Woolworths have very late this evening announced that their staff don't have to work on Australia Day if they feel uncomfortable, even about taking that day off. They can work Australia Day and then find another day to have and count as a public holiday. Now, we all know what the virtue signalling in all of this is, Joe, but what exactly is to be gained here? Because last time I checked, Woolworths, most Australia Days sell lots of little Australian flags made in China.
exactly
More than happy to say, go Australia, Australian brand, all the rest of it. Talk about having it both ways, which is, hey, you can wear the Australian flag, or you can not buy it from somebody who thinks the day's bad.
There's two very important points to make here. Firstly is the timing of the day on which Australia Day falls in 2023. So it falls on a Thursday. And what is going to happen is there's a whole bunch of people going to go, well, screw taking the Thursday off then. I'll take off the Friday or the Monday. And some organisations have actually specifically said that they can take Friday, have specified Friday as the date you can take instead. That's a long weekend. That's an instant long weekend for everyone. So, of course, anyone, whether they oppose Australia Day or not, is going to be tempted to think, oh, yeah, I'll just bail the kids in the car. Of course, the Australian thing to do is to take off January 26th, the Thursday off, and then just call a sickie on Friday and just have the 4 days. But I'm not sure if it's going to get it. So, to me, the test of just how popular this is was wait for Australia Day to fall on a Friday or a Monday. And then see if people will actually forsake that day because it is so offensive or upsetting to Indigenous Australians, and they'll take off another day in the middle of the week or at a colder, nastier time of year. I think that would be a more interesting litmus test. But they'll look at what will happen to the Australia Day activists, even though poll after poll shows that the majority of people support Australia Day being on January 26th. And it has nothing to do with the voice. Nothing to do with the voice. We don't care about Australia Day. But anyone who takes Friday or Monday off because they'd like to have a long weekend, they're going to say, see,
but also,
they're voting with their feet.
Look, I understand why the company wants to, kiss the ring like they all do these days. But, Hollie, I'm not entirely sure that anyone who's working behind a checkout or anyone who's working in the deli or anyone who's stacking the shelves really cares, because, in all honesty, they want to work as many hours and as many days and penalty rates and all the rest of it as possible. I'm not entirely sure there's going to be many. I'm sure there'll be a few, and we'll see photos all over social media of people, putting their badges out the front or whatever the hashtag will be. So it's a great little PR move from head office, but I'm not entirely sure it trickles down to your local.
Well, I don't even understand how it's going to work. All these companies saying you can work Australia Day, you can take your own personal public holiday later on in the year or whatever it is that they want to do. But most of these companies, particularly large companies, have payment systems set up that would be qualifying this day as public holidays. So how are they going to do that? People that were rostered on, not rostered on, then decide to work, don't work. But I think it's so typical, which we see with this complete left-wing woke agenda now, But we're seeing companies go woke, go broke. It doesn't work in the long run. Most Australians support Australia Day. As you said, they're all selling their Australian flags and the Australian napkins and paper cups from China. I just don't think Australians
go woke, go broke. Enough about Channel 10 and Triple J going backwards. But anyway,
well, no. We fund Triple J. They're fine.
Yeah, they are well and truly fine.
We fund them.
Not in the latest ratings. Oh, do they matter? That's right.